Hi everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello, welcome. Thanks for shooting in and joining me here today. We're going to have a look at a pretty cool area of the city here today in Calgary. This is known as Rouleuville, or formerly known as Rouleuville, now known as the Mission District or the Mission Area, which is a neighborhood here in Calgary. I'm just off of 17th Avenue Southwest, which is right directly behind me over here. And at one point 17th Avenue was the cutoff for the town of Calgary, known as the town, prior to city status. It was the boundary for the town limits for the town of Calgary. So anything beyond that, which is south, which is where Rouleuville, or now Mission, is located, was a new development. And this is one of the earliest, excuse the traffic noise, 17th Avenue is a super busy street, but this is one of the earliest developments outside of the initial town boundaries, and this is the first Catholic settlement, in fact French Catholic settlement. According to the narrative, French Catholics came here to help educate and spread the word of the Catholic Church to some of the indigenous First Nations native peoples here in this area. More specifically the Métis, which are half indigenous native Indians and half, generally speaking, French European, right? Like the mother might have been indigenous and the father may have been French fur trapper, for example. And kind of a strange narrative. It's not only French Canadians coming from Quebec, Montreal, and Quebec City and other areas of Quebec itself, but apparently coming all the way from France too, which, you know, in the 1860s or 1870s seems an awfully long way to come to, you know, dusty, middle of nowhere Calgary, Alberta, Canada. But anyway, we're going to take a quick loop around this. This is known as Ruleville Square, as you can see. And this was started as sort of the park. So as you exited the town of Calgary, coming up 4th Street here, you would cross the boundary of 17th Avenue right here. And then you had this beautiful park area, and that was sort of the gateway or the segue into the town of Rouleuville. So we'll take a quick loop-de-loo around here because there's a bunch of interesting little historical plaques put up with all kinds of propaganda and stuff. So we'll have a look at some of that, and then we'll check out some of the beautiful buildings you can see here in the background. There's an old convent here, there's an old train station, a couple of old churches, all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, stick around, we'll be right back. Okay, a little breezy here today, so you'll have to excuse the sound quality, but you can see the old church spire and steeple there in the background. We'll get to that in a second, but what I'll do is I'll just hold this here and on each of these plaques, and if you want to pause and just, you know, read the narrative of his story, I'm sure it'll be quite interesting. All right, we'll check out the next one. It's a beautiful park area, you know, it's nice and quiet actually. And a lot of people will come and hang out here on their lunch break from one of the surrounding local businesses. It's a beautiful looking old sandstone building, the Holy Cross Hospital. We'll go and check that out too. That's just on the far south end of Rouleuville here in Mission. Interesting street lamps too, kind of that old school style of street lighting. Graffiti, that's nice. So you probably noticed the plaques, the text, the signage is in English and French. Not so much because Rouleuville was a French community, but, you know, here in Canada we technically have two official languages, right? English and French. Ooh, a pipe bowl carved portrait of Mr. Rouleau himself. Okay, sure. That's creepy and off-putting, but anyway. There we go. A couple more to go here, and then we'll get down to the good stuff. All kinds of plaques here. You know, this was dedicated and donated by so-and-so. All kinds of graffiti on it. That's nice. Discussing the, trying to get out of it. There we go. Discussing the mission here a little bit. Nice shot of First Street, southwest, looking south. Yeah, really interesting. A couple more to go, and then I think what we'll do is we'll hit the church and the old school first, and then we'll swing around to the old opera house and the train station. So they tore that down to build that, which is still here now. I mean, that's beautiful looking. It's still kind of old world-ish looking, in the sense that it's sort of that Art Deco of the, or actually pre-Art Deco, I guess, early 1900s. It's a shame they had to tear that down and build that, but all right, 2 more to go here. Thanks for shooting in and joining me here today. Really excited to check out this little community. Gorgeous day today. As mentioned, 20 degrees Celsius, it's like 70 Fahrenheit. Perfect late spring afternoon here in Calgary. We've had some rain in the last few days, so everything is starting to come alive. You know, the trees are starting to sprout their little buds and leaves, and flowers are starting to come out. The grass is turning from that taupish, grayish, brownish color to green again, which is lovely. See here the Elbow River, so this entire area was cordoned off to be developed as Rouleuville. So pretty interesting. Alright, so that's it for the propaganda. Let's go check out some cool old buildings. Hang tough, I'll be right back. Alright, so this is a good as place as any to start off the tour here today. Rouleuville, St. Mary's Hall. A beautiful, very faded red brick building there with the portal above the main door, a sandstone detail above the door there with the name inscribed, and a beautiful huge arch detail all along here made out of the brick, squared off or rectangular but squared off window tops. I don't know if at one point those were arched windows or not, but they do seem to be wrapped or framed in that same sandstone that we're seeing here, as well as around this door here and this door here as well. But see the bricks going right down into this concrete, and this is a raised brick and concrete steps that I'm standing on. It's 3 steps to get up to this thing. So these doors are looking kind of short to me, so I'm wondering if maybe the doorway here kind of went down, you know, the height of this sort of pad of poured concrete that they've laid in here, because it looks like they poured the concrete right up against the brick there and just smoothed it out. So, but yeah, beautiful building for sure. It does have that textured brick, which leads me to believe that it's a later brick, but it is so faded and it's a narrow brick. The modern, cheaper versions of these bricks tend to be really dark and quite a bit larger. And we see those a lot when they tend to reface some of these old buildings, right? You know, they'll put that newer textured brick over top of the old existing brick. Nice little detail there with the brickwork along there. I'm noticing a metal roof on this thing too. Oh no, that's just a metal flashing. It's actually looks like terracotta roof on this thing. Yeah, don't see that very often. All right, let's keep moving around here. The side. Bunch of big busted out windows that look like they're kind of afterthoughts. Funny little, I don't know, air vent or something there. Big old chimney right here as well. Gonna get some glare because I'm facing south. It's the middle of the afternoon, but beautiful day, so what we got in here? We've got a funny little vent quite low down there as well. Shoot around the back here and see. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there's that terracotta roofing tile. You can see a bit of a wood beam coming out of there, or what used to be a wood support beam. Added on all kinds of stuff here, but looks to be about the same story as the front street facing side of this thing here, with these sort of columns coming down, the same brick, pretty consistent all the way around. This detail along the top here. Let's see what we've got at the back here. So another portal way up there. Stained glass inside, just like the front one. Flanked by two funny vents as opposed to windows or anything else. Yeah, pretty neat old place. There's a couple of other assorted outbuildings here that look like they're sort of more modern. They've, built a garage in between some of these buildings for, I guess, staff parking or what have you. But the front of this thing has brick that matches the brick here, so I don't know if they repurposed some of the brick or if this was part of a remaining structure that they've just sort of built onto the back of. But you can see here in the front, it's the same brick. They've added these glass block windows in here. Looks like yeah, see, they added this new roof here, and it's just wood, and then they've got that spray foam insulation there in between. Looks like they had a sign or something over this thing. That's weird. Anyway, keep moseying along here. Making our way to this beautiful big cathedral. Some more buildings here in the background. St. Mary's Parish office. This is the old rectory building. So see, again, you got to go up a couple of steps. This door entrance looks a little bit, the doorway in the entrance, I should say, looks a little larger. Sandstone above there as well. No dates so far. I'm not seeing any plaques with any dates. But if I don't see anything on the outside of any of these buildings when I get home and edit and upload it, I'll put the information down in the description below there. Alright, so now we are at the cathedral. And what an exquisite building this is. This is definitely the tallest building in the neighborhood by far. And I would have loved to have seen the original church with the sandstone spire and steeple, but unfortunately, as that plaque stated, it fell into disrepair and was dismantled and replaced by this thing, which is still beautiful. So yeah, let's see what we can see. First of all, lots of sandstone medallions, cartouches, or whatever you want to call it. There's the ever-present fleur-de-lis. In Canada, it has significance with our French-Canadian culture here in Canada. I don't know what that is, a letter R, a stylized R, I don't know. But sandstone nonetheless. Nice little windows here, neat little detail. The little bump up there at the top. Another funny little shape there, almost looks like a pretzel. See, now I'm getting hungry for lunch. Soft pretzel with hot mustard. Delicious. Anyway, let's keep shooting around the side of this thing. See what we can see here. Yeah, more sandstone framing these little windows. A cross medallion there. Gate going to absolutely nowhere. Okay. It's weird. Keep moving around here. Not seeing a lot of low windows or anything like that. Again, because of the date of this thing. Beautiful wooden doors, though. symbology up there. But with the date on this thing being, I don't know if it was built from scratch on the original old site, or if it was just repaired after the original tower and spire were dismantled. Okay, so now you see here a transition from this smooth brick with nice brickwork here to this textured brick. So perhaps when they were repairing, remodeling, they also added an addition maybe onto this thing. It's kind of hard to say because it has a lot of the same signs, right? A lot of the same medallion work and sandstone trim around the windows. But this is really interesting. Down here, that goes way down. I mean, that shoots down at least 12 feet. What in the hell is going on here? Look how far down that goes. There's a window right there, definitely below ground level. And a couple of vents. I know it's hard to see, but there's a couple of vents in there. There's a door right there with a vent above it, and then a vent down there as well. And then that window. Look how far down that goes. Holy smokes. What do you need to go down that far for? And then we see what I call the fake or the phony foundation right here, right? Where it extends outward beyond the brick. Normally the brick would extend outward slightly from the foundation for water shedding. The problem is that as the water comes down the brick wall here, it hits this part where all this schmutz is that they've smeared over top to make it look like a foundation. And it builds up in here and it erodes, and then it causes these kinds of problems where it starts to break away. A combination of moisture and then the heat and the sunlight and cold in the winter and water freezing and expanding and so on. It just makes a mess. And they've smeared that schmutz on this side going all the way down. So how much you want to bet going all the way down in there is the same brick underneath where they've smeared that schmutz? Yeah, really, really interesting. Let's keep circling around here. See this door, you've got to go up 3 steps to get into this door. Now we're getting into some of the good stuff here on the back of the building, it seems, is always the case. Here's another one. This one doesn't go down nearly as far. This one's only going down maybe 3 feet. That's weird. That other one 12 feet or so down, and this one only, 3 feet, maybe 4 feet down. But just hacked right into there, underneath these 2 windows. Really weird, kind of offset. So, obviously an afterthought. No symmetry or visual beauty with that at all, right? But here's where we can see in the back of this thing just how huge and beautiful it is with all the detail. There we go. Huge, huge stained glass. Those have got to be 20 feet. It's hard to tell from this vantage point, but probably 20 feet high, those stained glass. And then all the detail work around there with the brick made to look like plus signs or crosses, I'm guessing. And you've got a couple, up there. And then a strange looking vent that looks totally out of place. Yeah, let's keep working our way around this beauty. There's that pretzel again. Man, I'm getting hungry. See, so again, they've just smeared this crud on here to make it look like it's the foundation, but it's just chipping away. It's just crap. It's very deceptive. Very nice details on this side as well. Same style of window with that little bump up on the top there. That's unusual. I don't recall seeing that before. And then you can see how the church just rises in from behind that as well. There's another little spire there as well. A little cross on top. Round portal window here. All of these windows here on the top that have that little bump up, looks like a reservoir tip on a condom. Anyway, those are all stained glass, so quite lovely. Okay, here we go. We've got some kind of granite cornerstone here. Cathedralis MCMLV. Okay, there you go. 1955 is when this thing was, where they cut a chunk and shoved this thing in. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. That could be shoved in there at any point in time. But anyway. Lovely brickwork underneath these windows as well. And again with the symbology with those medallions above each window. Nice detail along the top here too, It's really neat brickwork. Another set of beautiful wooden doors here. And there's a great shot of that tower and the spire. Just beautiful. Huge, absolutely huge. Probably at the time that this was built originally, it still would have been one of the tallest structures in this area for sure. Anyway, let's keep scooting around this thing here. There's lots of those little tiny skinny windows with the the little condom windows on this thing. I mean, they're everywhere. Funny vent sticking out over there as well. That's weird looking. It's too bad that all of these details are sandstone because they wear so quickly. But you can see that not only is it the stylized cross shape in there, but in each corner it almost looks like some kind of rosette design, and then within each angle of the four arms there too, it almost looks like a little rosette detail inside there, like a four-petaled rose or what have you. Got a gentleman working hard here on a hot day. Let's swing around to the front here. Hi. Hi. I'm filming the cathedral for my YouTube channel. My viewers really love old architecture and old brick buildings, so I'm filming all of these old buildings. I'm also going to head down to the.
So you are part of any organization, or what?
No, I'm just a guy who's interested in old buildings, and I have a YouTube channel, and my viewers love a lot of these old buildings with these old statues, and they like the history of stuff that's built in the 1800s, early 1900s. And I'm showing them Rouleuville because it's one of the older settlements, Catholic settlements here in the city.
1957, not the 1800s.
Yeah, I understand that because the original one had to be dismantled because it fell into disrepair, and then this one was built to replace it, yes. But some of the other buildings in the area are much older, like the old train station, which I'll get to.
Broadcasting live to your...
No, I'm just recording it.
Filming. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a problem, or?
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that for what purposes you're going to be using it, because we need to know because of the situations that has been happening with violence and targeting the churches and all of that, so we just have to make sure.
People have been targeting this church?
Correct, yeah. And last July, the 1st of July, we got red paint all over the church. You still can
I see right next to the statue
so
there.
That's why
that's a shame.
We are installing cameras everywhere too.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, I noticed the gentleman making sure the cameras were working.
Yes, so that's why we noticed that you were filming, so we thought we need to.
Yeah, I was trying not to film the actual cameras. I'm just filming the bricks, the sandstone.
What is your name?
My name's Frankie.
Okay, my name's Lily. Okay.
Lily, nice to meet you, Lily.
Likewise. Okay,
yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming by and making sure everything's on the up and up. I'm just going to take one last shot of the plaque, and then I'm going to... Yeah, and then I'm going to move on. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so see, people are coming by and they're throwing red paint on the beautiful stained glass of this old church. But quite a huge statue on there too. Wow, that's a big one. That's got to be 20 feet high. I can understand your concern for safety, but you know what? I mean, this is, you know what? If you don't want people on the bloody property, then don't put plaques here that give information and tell you that it's a heritage site. and that has all of this stuff inviting people to come and scan this with their phones if you don't want people coming around with their devices taking footage. Idiots. Anyway, she seemed friendly enough after she realized that I wasn't, I don't know, casing the joint. Why do people always think that somebody's casing the joint? Anyway, I digress. I'm getting salty, so let's move on to this other building down here. One moment, I'll be right back. Alright, so this next one we're going to check out here is this. It's now the Alberta Ballet building, but initially it was the old St. Mary's Parish Hall, and then after that it was purchased by the Canadian Northern Railway, which later became the Canadian National Railway. But it was purchased by the railway and converted into railway station. And then it was supposed to be demolished, and Alberta Ballet came along and said, you're not tearing down this beautiful old sandstone building, this beautiful, beautiful, huge structure. So they had a massive, aggressive fundraising campaign and raised enough money to be able to restore it, and now it's used by Alberta Ballet. But there's some plaques and info up here, so check it out. Of course, you know, you got to go up 5 or 6 steps to get up. There's a shot there. Plaque over here as well. Yeah, here we go. St. Mary's Parish Hall, CNR, Canadian National Railway Station. That's a great shot there with the building, the very building that we're standing in the front door of right now, and there's the old beautiful old steam locomotive right there with the station built out of the side of this structure, which is still here and intact, so we'll go by and check that out as well. But just take note of the beautiful sandstone, and again I've talked about how it quickly deteriorates, so they often have to shave it smooth every once in a while, and that's where you get these striations here. This isn't from it being quarried, from what I understand. This is from it being just a few millimeters being shaved off to help stop the misshapen erosion, where then it starts to crumble and crack and break away. At least with keeping it smooth, it helps to eliminate chunks falling away, like you see here. Right, there's a little piece there about to fall away. And this is all sandstone underneath the windows, the building itself, down here as well. All of this is all sandstone all along here as well. So yeah, just beautiful. That's just concrete. And the stairs are concrete as well. Beautiful window with that beautiful arched window there at the top. The keystone there in the middle. And just gorgeous detail all along the ridgeline here of the roof. Absolutely outstanding building. So I think we'll shoot around the west side of the building here first and have a look at that, and then we'll zip onto the east side and check out where the train station and all that is. So yeah, let's skedaddle and see what's what here on this side. Again, I'm going to preemptively apologize for the glare. The sun is beating down on us here. So yeah, just a beautiful building. Oh, right away, Mudflood windows. Look at that. Wow, that goes way down in there. That goes down about 3 feet as well. And the sandstone goes all the way down too. You can see right there.
You stay. I'm not coming. Why? Because I'm not graduating.
Another one.
And Andy too. You and Andy are.
Another one there. So you've got window, 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 and the lower ones are Mudflood. Wow, that goes right down there. Hi. You can see above and below each one of these windows is that sandstone as well. And it just creates a really beautiful overall, aesthetically pleasing design that the entire building, not only the hewn stone to construct the building, but even the details above and below the windows are that same sandstone. They could have put limestone or something there, but I don't know, it has that uniform style that I kind of like with the sandstone instead. Maybe it's just me. They've retrofitted in here a loading dock door, obviously. And here's where you can see again where they've shaved away this stone in order to accommodate putting this loading dock in. So there's your parish hall here, St. Mary's Parish Hall. And then it transitions right here at this point to what is the old train station right here. So red brick. Let's have a look at this transition point and see if I can kind of get in behind this huge flower bed that they've put here. You see, I've noticed it's pulling away here. So, but yeah, you can see here where they just basically carve the stone so that it marries this sort of line here, and then they've tried to keep it fairly uniform. But this goes way down inside here. I mean, that brick goes all the way down where you can see where this flower bed is pulled away. So who knows how far down it goes under there. It's really hard to say, but so here we have the red brick, and then they've kept that sandstone detail, and then a little arch above these windows. So let's keep rolling down this side here, see if we notice anything else. You can see what I mean. Here we go with the sandstone. See how it's starting to crack and chip along there? So they're going to come along at some point, and they're just going to plane that down, you know, just a couple of millimeters, you know, fractions of an inch. Yeah, pretty much the same story all along here. I know further down it transitions to wooden shingles because it was an addition that was added in later on. Hey, buddy. So yeah, here's where it turns into this cedar shingle. A funny vent right here. And then the windows are totally different here on this one. And this one I can see that there is a foundation that they've poured and then built the structure on top of. At least that's what it looks like to me anyway. You know, then some vent access there. Yeah, beautiful old place. Really, really cool looking. Get a little bit of the backside of this here as well. I love the aesthetic of the old world train stations too, you know, with the overhang to protect you from the weather as you're, you know, outside waiting for the train to arrive or depart. Pretty cool. So we're fenced off here, so hang tough for a moment. I'll shoot back around to the front, and then we'll have a look at the east side of this old building and train station. So one moment, I will be right back. All right, so here we are back at the front of the Alberta Ballet building. And there's that Catholic Cathedral in the background. So yeah, let's shoot up here along the gangway and check it out. The old train station portion. Again, purchased by Canadian Northern Railway, eventually Canadian National Railway. As you can see here, the old wooden gangway. And well, we've got these beautiful windows here, and then this funny looking wooden grate they've built into this gangway. And why did they do that? Well, because inside there, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a window down in there, and this goes down. I can't lift the darn thing, but it goes down about the same as what we saw on the other side of this building, 3.5 feet. So isn't that interesting? Why would they build this like that? Kind of squat doors. I'm only about 5'9", so this is not even 6 feet, or maybe, or not even 7 feet, sorry, maybe 6.5 feet. This is nice too, right? The sandstone here that provides the structure to, or the footing for the structure here. Really beautiful. There's another window with another one of those underneath. Window inside there. Window. Window. Vent, but with a sandstone detail under it, so probably a window at some point. And the window again down there. Below grade windows. Now here's our transition point where they expanded the train station. And again, transitioning from the sandstone to the red brick. And they've just cut out the brick and kind of worked it in here to the sandstone structure. So I guess at one point this would have been the corner that made up what would have been the south-facing wall at the end of this building at one point. Then they moved to the red brick with the arches, and again that sandstone windowsill there. Looks like a door that's no longer in use, but arch there, and that little window as well. So here's you can see what I'm talking about, whereas this erodes slightly, it starts to stain the brick underneath, right? They've done a nice job trying to clean it up where they can. Often they'll replace these sandstone windowsills with concrete. They'll put a concrete block in there. They'll just chip that out, slide a concrete block in there, and call it a day. But I'm wondering if underneath these there are below ground windows too. Can't tell here because they don't have any access points like they do with those other ones, but who knows. Big huge door here. And then it looks like we finish it off with that shingled portion. This at one time I think would have been where they line up the luggage carts, and as the train pulled in here and stopped, they would have unloaded the luggage, and the luggage carts would be along the side here. You know, those hand push carts that they load people's steamer trunks and so on onto. And now we're back around to that backside where we finished off after looking at the west face of this beautiful old parish hall slash train station. So, geez, we've only done a couple of buildings. We got a few more to go, so hang tough. I'll be right back, and we will check out the next one on this tour of Rouleuville. Getting one more last wide shot of the former train station, the former parish hall, now Alberta Ballet. Massive, massive brick chimney on this thing. Wow-wee. Wonderful detail on the facade right there, as you can see as well. That looks really nice. And all of these, what are those called? Dormers up there with the windows? The cedar shingles and whatnot. Just lovely, lovely old building. This is part of the old train track that used to roll in from this former railway bridge here and would roll right into the train station. They've obviously blocked it off and it's no longer in use. The train has been rerouted quite far east of where we are. They've also put another portion of track here, which seems weird. I don't know if this at one time branched off of the main line and went this way. I doubt it, because it doesn't look like it bends enough to avoid this house. I think maybe they just had this set up. Maybe they had some, I don't know, railroad equipment set up on here at some point. But you know, as we've seen it so far in this tour with spray paint and vandalism, it probably got wrecked, so they just hauled it away. But the next building on our tour, by the way, that old rail bridge is kind of neat. Maybe we'll have a look at that first. I'm noticing too all these beautiful old street lights and stuff. They're all over this whole area of Rouleuville. They're all the same. They all match. So the Rouleuville Mission Bridge of the CN Station, or former CNOR, Canadian Northern Railway, as I mentioned, later becoming the Canadian National Railway. So this is the Elbow River here, mountain runoff that heads and joins with the Bow River down there. So this bridge going over the Elbow River. And they've kept the old track, and they've just pulled up the ties and left the track in, I guess, and just poured this concrete over top. Yeah, I think there's some plaques over here. It's hold that there if you want to pause it. There's some information on the old Fort Calgary. And we've seen pictures like that on the channel here before, haven't we? The old Fort Calgary photos. That one from 1881 apparently. Back when it was still mostly a wooden structure. No info on the age of this bridge though. I'm assuming late 1890s, early 1900s. But no plaque giving any info at all. That dog is having the time of his life right now. Good for you, Fido. So the next place that we're going to check out on our little mission / Rouleuville tour is the old Catholic Nun Convent, which I think is still a convent, and it's still like a sort of a Catholic help center, something like that. But it's just around the corner here, and you know, it's all sort of tightly packed, these buildings, right? There's that cathedral, there's the old Alberta Ballet with the old train station, and this beauty right ahead of us here is the old convent. And apparently this land was donated, and at one point there were 4 nuns that first lived in a small little home that was on this land that was donated, and the house was already on the land. And then later on, this convent was built out of, again, locally sourced sandstone blocks. So unfortunately, it's kind of all closed off. You'll see what I mean when we get to it, but you can see here it's just an absolutely beautiful 3.5 story sandstone building. Just absolutely gorgeous. You can see really low windows along here. They look to me like they're shooting right down. Again, they're getting some glare, and this hedge is not our friend right now because it's really hard to see through there. Those low windows that are right at ground level. In fact, the ground slopes upward a little bit here as we're moving west, so the windows get closer and closer and closer to the ground level as we go to the sort of the front door to this building. So I wish I could get you in there to see. You'll see why in a second, why I can't get you in there. But here's a nice shot at the front, trying to avoid some of this glare here. But this is the main entrance. So it's the Sacred Heart Convent, established 1885. As you can see, Sisters Faithful Companions of Jesus. Now, this is the part that is perplexing and puzzling to a fella. A guy can't figure out what's going on. So they got the front gate all chained up. Okay, it's chained up. You can't get in here, people. But meanwhile, that's where the plaque on the door is that gives you the historical information and everything. The plaque is right there by the front door. So they've got the plaque there with all the info, but you can't get to it. You're not allowed inside. So that just doesn't make any sense to me. But that being said, just a wonderful old building. Arches galore. Every window on this thing here, from this sort of jut out portion of the main entrance, sort of from about that line down to the end here, all of these windows are all arched. And then as the building carries on down, those are more rectangular windows along the next couple of floors. But, you know, the same old story. You've got to go up, what is that, 8, 9 steps to get up to that front door. And that is an arch detail above the front door, but this pergola or this, whatever, this thing above the door is actually blocking the beautiful arch detail with those giant sandstone stones. So, obviously some kind of wonky afterthought that they did there with that. So I don't know, was this a really huge grand door, and you know, that went all the way down to this ground level, and they've just poured these concrete stairs and reconfigured the doorway. But it's a shame that you can't get in and check out that plaque on there. But either way, let's see if a fella can shoot around this way and get another look from another angle. One moment, I'll be right back. Well, again, unfortunately, I have limited access. I'm just kind of leaning over the fence here where the hedge has got a little bit of a break in the hedge, and you can just see just the tail end of the sandstone structure there, and then they've built the addition on and carried the original roof line and everything over it. So over the years they've added on to it more and more. But just a gorgeous old structure. So let's keep rolling along here. We've got a couple of other places to check out, most notably that old hospital as well. Okay, so moving right along, here we are at what is now Our Lady of Lourdes, a Catholic school. Built in, formerly the St. Mary's School. Built, according to that, in 1909. But just a beautiful main entrance on this old school. Sandstone on the lower side here, and then red brick carrying up. Gorgeous sandstone details all the way up this thing. Arches galore everywhere. And then that beautiful cross there on the top, and the shingle tile roof as well. Really, really nice looking, just gorgeous details on this thing. And on this sign here, even the, you know, with the address, it's got this nice keystone here integrated into that. Let's have a look at this thing here. So yeah, we've got these big, huge, beautiful sandstone blocks with the red brick on top. Big, big, beautiful windows, rectangular or squared off anyway. But lots of nice little details there as well. Love this sort of little spirally thing here on this arch. And you know, you've got some symbology there with the just below the name of the, or the title of the school there, where the date is. Those are grapes or what they're supposed to represent, but way up there, cartouches and medallions, the keystones on the arches, just beautiful. And this is for sure actual sandstone block. It's not some geopolymer made to look like sandstone. I mean, sandstone here, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting sandstone in this town. There's still there's still quite a few very close by in the city limits. There's still quite a few sandstone quarries. One of them is maybe, I don't know, just a couple of miles from here actually, and that's where they say that in this general area, Rouleuville, Sonalta, where I live, Mount Royal, formerly American Hill, where all of this sandstone was sourced from that same area. So anyway, let's keep looking around. I just love the detail all along the top of the roof there as well, with that, again, that sort of sawtooth, what I call a sawtooth effect along there. Just lovely, just really, really nice looking. It's a gorgeous old school. Apparently 1909. You can see that sandstone just shoots right down in the ground. School's still in session, and I'm a grown man walking around with a camera, so I'm not going to venture too close to the school. There's the back side. This is the south-facing side of the school. You can see a huge arch built into the brick there, but then at some point they blocked something in and just put a vent in there. But yeah, basically all the way around you've got this rather large bottom portion of sandstone and brick, and then they've just kind of worked into delineate the different levels or floors. They've added the sandstone detail along there, and then right along the top there too. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful old school, and very, very well looked after. Oh, look right there too. I don't know if you could catch that at all. Looks like a bowl or a vessel of some sort, a pitcher, something. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Somebody's looking out the window at me. That's my cue to move along, I guess. I think the next big one is the old hospital. So yeah, let's head down the street here and check out the old hospital, and then I think that's gonna do it for today. So one moment, I'll be right back. Alright, so we've just come a couple of blocks south from where we were down there at the old school and the old convent. Now we're coming up on the Holy Cross, the old Holy Cross Hospital site. It's still currently a medical center, and it still goes by Holy Cross. It's just now called the Holy Cross Center as opposed to Holy Cross Hospital. But it's a very impressive, beautiful old building. Again, as you can see, much like many of the other ones that we've looked at so far here in Rouleuville / Mission, sandstone and brick combination. So sandstone all along the bottom portion here, and then under the windows, sandstone there, and then the beautiful red brick. That's that textured facade brick. But I think as we explore this thing further, we're going to see evidence that perhaps there was some older brick underneath this facade brick. At least that's my guess. I don't know for sure. But often when we see this darker textured facade brick, it's basically just following the original brick, and then they just trace over the lines of the building. But you can see, you know, for the narrative of when this thing was built, it's a huge structure. I mean, it's a behemoth. There's 4 floors. It takes up basically a whole block. So pretty massive. Here's a statue with some propaganda, so let's check this out. I'll just hold it there if you want to pause it and read it. So hang tough, we're going to check out this main entrance here, right over here. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're at the front, well at one time would have been the main entrance, or the front entrance, on that 4th Street Southwest right here. But it's not really the main entrance anymore. They do have like sort of a whole parking area and a whole new main entrance here, but they do have the plaque here. So I'll hold it there as well. This one I'm sure you can make out. So this photo circa 1900, 1905. And then there's the date there, founded 1891. So found in 1891. And there, rebuilt or renovated or renovated 1928. So when they say rebuild, what do they mean, right? Do they just mean, oh, we'll just take these textured bricks and reface it and Bob's your uncle, it's rebuilt? Or what, right? It's hard to say. But interesting pillar details here. Not really pillars, but made to look like pillars. And then at the top, you've got a fleur-de-lis there. Again, French, Rouleuville, fleur-de-lis. I guess it makes sense. Phoenician swirls on that, though. You can see there's 3 here, 3 there, then 2 there at that end, and 2 there at this end. But they're not really pillars. They're just stones stacked. These are concrete, I'm thinking. Concrete stone. Or concrete blocks, I should say. Just stacked and, you know, mortared in between, and then they add that detail there on the top. Now, are those details there look to me a little different, made out of different material than this. So I'm wondering if maybe those up there are sandstone, like these beautiful details that we see, are they sandstone? And then they've just kind of come in with concrete afterwards to try to work it into this facade. I'm not sure, and they've got so much paint on this that I'm not sure if this is sandstone or concrete or what, but this is definitely concrete. So I don't know. But again, you can see this funny false foundation that they've built out from here. And then there's even, you see another little layer down there that isn't here. Wonder why. And then this is just dirt here. You can see just dirt here on the ground. Actually, that crushed red stuff, you know. Now we've got huge pillars here on the front. You can see they've got 5 here on this side, and 5 on this side. Big space missing there. Not sure why. There used to be another pillar here. It's hard to say. It doesn't look like it, but I don't know. But what are these? They sound solid to me, but probably concrete. I doubt that those are sandstone or limestone. Anyway, keep moving along. Here's the 5 that are on this side. Try and get a nice shot here at a good angle without getting hit by a car as I'm halfway out onto the road. But you can see the huge pillars here. There's way up, the brick there, and there were some huge arches there that are all bricked in now. So I'm not sure what was going on there. And then the sandstone cross there at the top, detail. Keep working our way around here and see what else we can see. So now this is the whole new modern Holy Cross Center. Obviously they've added different buildings on over the years, and they've made it a whole sort of medical complex. So depending what ails you or whatever, you can go and see whoever about whatever. So this is basically the end of the main building here. So again, you can see right there some arch details that have been bricked in. Huge, huge arches. So what were those? Were they at one time big, huge windows? I'm thinking probably they were, and they were later on bricked in, and they just even put a vent in right there. But just a nice detail how the brick is sort of graduated as it stacks outward. Just very nice detail and craftsmanship in all that brick. And again, the sandstone detailing around all the windows and so on. This obviously added in afterwards and just kind of integrated into it. But now we see from the street level, right there, where we just were, where that gentleman is walking, it goes down in here, and then it goes up over here onto this sort of side entrance. I can see a transition there with different bricks. So this obviously was added in after the fact. But you can definitely see how the ground slopes down like this. Then it digs out in here, and there's a bunch of windows down in there that we'll have a look at, and then it comes back up to the ground level and street level again. So wonky as heck, if you ask me. So this is the designated smoking area. So we are permitted to be here. It doesn't say no trespassing or anything. So but you can see the ground slopes down like that. Then they've sort of punched out something in here and added in a bunch of windows that they've now got boarded over with plywood, and then they've even got plywood over top. That's quality right there. That's quality craftsmanship right here. We'll just take some pressure treated plywood and throw it up on top. We won't even bother cutting it to fit, so now this warps when it gets wet and the sun hits it. This is the south facing, so this will get hit by the sun all day, every day, even in the winter. So I'm not sure what the heck they were doing there. But then you've got some stairs that go back up again to get back into this access door to this add-on portion. A different kind of brick here than we were seeing on the front. And there's some remnants of some nice little details there as well, you know, as they sort of tied this portion in with the original building. They tried to keep some of that. You know, they just sort of hacked away at it, I guess, to kind of get the brick to marry into the other facade. But you can see there, it's 2 different kinds of brick. And then over there, too, 2 different kinds of brick. That brick there being similar to this brick here behind us, which is different than that brick. So it's a hodgepodge jigsaw puzzle of question marks and queries, shall we say. But nevertheless, very, very interesting indeed. And just a beautiful old building. I mean, 1891, to build such a massive structure like that, it's just incredible. For what basically was just a small little community on the outskirts of the town of Calgary. So let me take one last quick look around here and see if there's any other buildings in the next block or two that we can have a look at to wrap up Rouleuville. Either way, I'll be back in one moment, so stick around and just give me 1 second here. All right, so there you go. I think we are done with our walking tour of Rouleuville / the Mission District here in Calgary. So yeah, that's going to seal the deal here for today for New West Reset. Once again, my name's Frankie. Thank you very much for shooting in and joining me on this tour with these interesting old world buildings in Rouleuville, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Once again, just a little bit off of 17th Avenue Southwest along 2nd Street Southwest. And well, we did about 8 square blocks of a bunch of interesting buildings here. So thank you very, very much for joining me on this tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below there with your comments. Just, beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, boop down there for me. While you're at it, do all the other YouTube type things. And until the next one, have a good one. All right, take care. Cheers.